Good morning. Nope. It is good evening. Oh man, I tell you, this morning was something else. So busy. So this topic, it just stands out to me even more. As you know, every day I want to give my body the nourishment it needs. I want to stay covered and not exposed, and I want to be wise in how I'm living, and I want to keep going. I don't want what just happened today to continue to happen. I want to stick to the process. So my schedule is changing up a little bit. So the time I haven't quite this determined when I would post, but I know that I will be posting daily, and I want to get a consistent time that I will be posting. So it won't be a morning series, probably. We'll see. It might still be a morning series, but I just letting you know during this particular week 9, it is in transition. Just letting you know right now. But no matter what, I'm working out my sozo, my wholeness through salvation, healing, deliverance in practical ways, juicing, praying in the spirit, and just by obeying God. Wisdom to me is obeying God, but just, following God's instruction, being wise, and not being led by my my own spirit, but being led by the Holy Spirit. So what I've noticed today is underestimating my own resilience. And I feel moments where I am weak and I feel weaker than what I actually am. Sometimes it actually means I need rest. So it's like today, I just got a lot of extra rest. I was praying and resting, praying, resting. But I not sure why, but I'm getting extra rest. So hey. And so I just need to realize that strength is showing even if my feelings haven't caught up to it yet. And even if my emotions haven't fully recognized it yet. We've been 9 weeks of sticking to the structure for the most part. I wanted to just have 9. Look, in my heart of hearts, I wanted to just have 9 weeks where it's just all together, but it hasn't really been that way. But no matter what, I'm sticking to it, and in that, God will still be glorified in my life. And this still applies to me, that I'm becoming stronger and I'm not as weak as I think the tendency for me to think I am. I'm think of myself weaker than I am. No, strength is coming from this, even if I have setbacks in some kind of sense. And the reason why I say that is because I'm not quitting. Gotta give myself a hand for that, because or not stopping. And I'm seeing myself begin to get back on things that I had let go. So I gotta clap for that. And maybe you can relate to that. You like, yeah, I haven't stopped. I have kept going, and I'm beginning to pick up things I had dropped. So kudos to you. Okay. Now, I like to look at the scientific insight of what's happening when it relates to why would a person look at themselves less than what they really are and not see their progress for what it is. So I want to look at like the scientific research that talks about that, what happening in the brain, what happening in the body. So during the time when you're being consistent in the structure and being obedient to God in prayer, um, you begin to have like a resilience against stress, because that consistent nourishment and prayer lowers the cortisol and strengthens the HPA assets. So mitochondrial function improves. I'm gonna put that in the chat just so in case I pronounced it wrong. And the juicing increasing allows for the micronutrients to support the cellular level. And so it allows for the neuroplasticity to be strengthened. Um, It strengthens the discipline circuit, so you have more discipline. So write that down as well. And so it lowers, and because of that, um, um, you're allowed to repeat the good behaviors. And see, that's what I'm saying. We're stronger than we think. Because you're doing that, you're able to repeat the good behaviors quicker, because those pathways are stronger. And then inflammation decrease, which is a big deal these days, which allows for your emotional stability to be good and your physical endurance to be better. So we can't let go of that. And heart rate variability increases, so you have a better tolerance of stress. Um, and when you nourish consistently, the body shifts from survival mode to repair mode. It begins to repair those areas, those old injuries, all of those things, so you can be more whole. And this is the part that I really love right now, and I'm glad I included it. Why does that happen? It happens because you are nourishing yourself consistently, and that's why the body is shifting from survival to repair. It happens that because when you pray in the spirit, the brain stress center quiets, allowing resilience to rise. And when you stick to the structure, especially if it is what the Lord had led you to do, the brain interprets consistency as safety. Ooh, that is so important to me, y'all. Y'all just don't understand. And strength increases. And so strength doesn't just show up as just like a hype kind of thing. It's real. And you'll be able to have that stability, the clarity, and the endurance needed. And the body is literally becoming stronger, even if the feelings haven't caught up yet. So now we're going to look at it from a pregnancy point of view. And I believe I made a list of just like the different areas that I like to cover in during my devotional time. So I like to look at the pregnancy because during the pregnancy, you're not able to see everything that's going on, but things are forming every single week when it deals with the mom and the fetus. So in week 9, the baby muscle strengthens rapidly. Tiny, spontaneous movements begin, even though the mother can't feel it yet. And heartbeats with 4 fully formed chambers, steady and strong. The baby body is coordinating strength behind the scenes. The mother feels extreme fatigue because strength requires energy. Strength is forming before it is felt. Movement is happening before it is noticeable. Identity is strengthened before it is visible. And that is just beautiful. And that is me. Things are forming before it's fully felt. Movement is happening before it's noticeable. Identity is being strengthened before it's visible. So I think that's beautiful. The restorative shift is that I don't need to feel strong to be strong. I had to pause right there, okay? I don't need confirmation to know. I don't need the validation. I don't need the visible evidence to trust God. That is strength. You don't need the visible evidence to trust God. Strength is showing even in the places where I feel weak. That's just beautiful to me. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. So, me seeing myself as someone to carry real strength, resilient, someone who endures and overcomes, it is refreshing. So God is revealing these things, and I think it's beautiful. So as usual, I just like to look at someone that have, in some sense, done the same thing in the Bible, in the Word of God. So I'm bringing out my huge Bible here. And I still need glasses to read it. So we're gonna start with Judges. So if you can, you think of who in Judges. You probably see it in the description. I think I have it in the description. But yes, we're gonna talk about Samson, y'all. We're gonna talk about Samson. He underestimated his calling. If you ask me, he underestimated his calling. So let's look at Judges 13, chapter 13, verse 5. I'm reading from NLT version. You will become pregnant and give birth to a son, and his hair must never be cut, for he will be dedicated to the God as a Nazarite from birth. He will begin to rescue Israel from the Philistine. Okay, that's what the angel told Samson mom. And she even had like a special diet she had to follow, and just she has special instructions for him. That's how special he was to the Lord. Okay, and so he didn't really see himself as a deliverer that God called him to be, and or he took it for granted. He took it for granted. Let's go to Judges 14:6. The woman ran and told her husband, a man of God appeared to me. He looked like one of God's angels, terrifying to see. I didn't ask where he was from, and he didn't tell me his name. He didn't tell me his name. But he told me, you will become pregnant and give birth to a son. You must not drink wine or any other alcoholic drink, nor eat any forbidden food, for your son will be dedicated to God as a Nazarite from the moment of his birth until the day of his death. He had a calling. He had a calling. And you know what? The Spirit of God used him in a powerful way. And his strength was very spiritual. In what is it? Let me go to Judges chapter 15, 18 through 19. Judges chapter 15, 18 through 19. Okay, so Samson was now very thirsty, and he cried out to the Lord, you have accomplished this great victory by the strength of your servant, but I now die of thirst and fall into the hands of these pagans. Okay. So God caused water to gush out of the hollow of the ground. At Leah, Samson was revived as he drank. He named that place the spring of the one who cried out, and it's still in Leah to this day. When he cried out to God, God strengthened him. And he knew then that the strength comes from God, not himself. And he knew that the strength was with him, even if he didn't always feel it. And I want to kind of go in his story a little bit more. So we know what his downfall was. Him being led by his what he wanted before God. And eventually he realized, I am a deliverer in the end of his life. And as his hair began to grow back, he began to realize that who his real strength was, and he cried out to the Lord again. I'm fully convinced there's something about crying out to the Lord, no matter where you are, no matter what your situation is. And I'm talking to myself too. If you are in the deepest of the darkness, if you cry out to the Lord, he'll deliver you. He will deliver you. When you cry from your heart, he'll deliver you. He will deliver you. There's something about crying out to the Lord. He'll deliver you. That's all I gotta say about that. So, I'm fully convinced. Fully convinced. So, yes. So, I want to look at nourishment because there's a big part of my, of what I believe I'm meant to do here on YouTube is to encourage us to increase the nourishment in our body. So I want to look at nourishment, like what is the parallel with our body, spirit, and soul when it comes to juicing, when it comes to praying in the spirit, when it comes to obeying God? How does that nourish us? How does it nourish our body, spirit, and soul? I want us every day to think about it and see like how. So juicing, and remember, repetition allows for us to just be strengthened more in our mind. So juicing strengthens the body by reducing the inflammation, stabilizing energy, and supporting cellular repair, all which increases physical resilience. So today I've really been resting, and it also, for some reason, I just believe that I haven't been drinking the four minimum, which I believe is important, but what I'm doing right now is, I believe that it's really healing me from the cellular level, because I've been getting a lot of rest, a lot more rest, because usually I can function pretty well with not as much sleep as most people. And I think it's because I was created to be an intercessor, and we don't always sleep as much. And this is not like boasting. I literally am, because I think about prayer all the time, and it's not me bragging or anything, and it's not even me saying that I am this special intercessor. No, it's just I just we want to pray. Like, it's not even that serious. I'm not even saying I'm the best prayer. I'm just saying that it's just something that I always had a pull towards. That's all. But anyways, and so, praying in the spirit, uh, it strengthens your inner man, 1 Corinthians 14:4, and it builds spiritual endurance and fortify my identity, and so it allows for me to um be what I need to be. Especially help me walk in obedience. It helps me to be aligned with the Lord and not be thrown astray. Because if you look at Samson, he was led by his flesh a lot, and it led him to just having to experience things that he didn't have to experience. It led him to be in prison instead of free, and trusted the wrong people and circumstances, just based on what he felt he wanted, instead of. So praying in the spirit allows for you to be fortified in your true identity. And then the pre-home preparation, wisdom, really wisdom, obeying God. But right now I'm specifically focusing on just traits and discipline, consistency, to help me to be able to have like a homestead one day, right? So just preparing for it. It's a lot of steps for me to prepare for this homestead. So just building structure, building order, um strengthening systems that I'm a part of, that teaches me the discipline that I need, stability I need, long term resilience that I need, being a part of the communities that I need to be a part of. So those choices reinforce the strength that God is revealing in me. And so the scripture that I want us to focus on, the two of them, is the riddle that Samson said. But anyways, chapter 14, verse 6. At the moment, the Spirit of the Lord came powerfully upon him, and he ripped the lion's jaw apart with his bare hands. He did it as easily as if it was a young goat. But he didn't tell his father or mother about it. Strength, 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 strength. I wonder how does it feel to realize, wow, I'm stronger than I realize I am. This a lion's mouth. Ooh, Jesus. Okay. Now let's turn to 2 Corinthians chapter 12, verse 10. That is why I take pleasure in my weakness and in the insult, hardship, and persecution and troubles that I suffer for Christ. For when I am weak, then I am strong. And I notice that even within myself, when I feel weak, I'm in a position where I'm able to hear God better, because I'm dead, and God is able to be alive. So His spirit is able to be alive, be able to be the breath of life that I need. So, and I just want to close with the thought that let's choose to acknowledge that God's strength is strong in us, and even in the places that we feel weak. And today, when I was getting a lot of rest, I was praying, and God, in the prayers, He was really moving more, it seemed like, because I was out of the way, and He was able to really speak, and I was able to hear, and it was some unique things he was revealing, and that's what God do. That's the way God is. Thank you for joining. So if you want to build yourself up in your household through wisdom, you can use a special link that I have to shop the sponsor, Dr. Stella's store. And if you want to learn more about the different ways to work with me or just about me, you can visit my website, bernicepatrice.com. And the scientific references are also in the description. Thank you for joining, and God bless.